I need to focus on my state. I live in New South Wales. I am staying here. And as far as I'm aware, the only parties that I could kind of back right now is Australia One, if they have candidates. I don't know of any candidates yet in Australia One in New South Wales. I'm not saying there won't be. I'm saying I don't actually have an insight into the running of A1, despite the fact I had the show with Ricardo. I mean, I stayed right out of it. I was never a member. And I liked it that way. I like the separation between my parties and the media. I don't like what we see with the mainstream media and the big parties. You sometimes see collusion, and I hate that. But with Ricardo, I genuinely don't know of any candidates running for Australia One in New South Wales. I hope there is, because Australians need an alternative that's going to be way better than these major parties. So at this stage, I know there's definitely going to be candidates for One Nation, which is a party I can definitely say, yep, go for. And if A1 comes with some, then great. I'd love to meet the candidates too and maybe do a show with them. In terms of the other parties, the Christian Democrat Party is a disaster right now. They're still going through a lawsuit, that's crazy. What's happening there? They're in a complete debacle. And I've often talked about this. I don't like to go into depth because I hate rubbing salt into the wound, but it's a disaster over there. The Federation Party, I don't know of any candidates running on the Federation Party. I haven't met anyone in the Federation Party recently. So I mean, I don't have an inclination to vote for them yet. Maybe I'll do some more research. What are the other parties? I mean, we know about Liberal, Labor, Greens, and Nationals. Not interested. I put them all last. Greens absolute last. But yeah, that's it. I can't think of any parties. But this is the thing. I am very, very worried. I am incredibly worried. There are good people that we've talked about on the show, Ricardo and I have talked about on the show, that are in trouble in New South Wales. I mean, we've got Joel Fitzgibbons, a man of Labor, who helped to moderate the radical green agenda of the Labor Party. He's been completely sidelined, basically. Who knows if he's even going to make pre-selection to win. His electorate's in New South Wales, I think in the Hills area. You've got recently resigned Craig Kelly. He's in trouble. What's he going to do? I don't know. He's going to be an independent in his area. I think he can win as an independent. Maybe he'll need a bit of help. Who else have we got? We've got Jim Molan. Jim Molan, he's someone that's tried to secure our strategic oil reserves. He's someone that's tried to help us have a cohesive plan to address our military strategy for Australia. These are all people. And he's in a tough spot, Jim Molan, as well. He got the most amount of votes below the line. He didn't manage to get a Senate seat in the last election because they put him in the unwinnable spot, I think number 4 or 5. And he's been sitting in Senator Sinodinos's seat, who was a senator who went to, he had to resign his position to Jim Molan because he went to America. Sinodinos, he went to America so he could fill Mike Pompeo's job of, representing Australia there, ambassador to America. And so we're in a situation where basically I'm very worried about New South Wales and where things are going, because the parties, as I said, not many candidates for A1, some candidates for One Nation, but not in every electorate. We've got some scattered people like Joel Fitzgibbons, like who else have we've got? We've got Craig Kelly and we've got Jim Molan, and we've also got people in the Liberal Party and Labor Party as well in the Senate that are also being pushed back. We've got Concetta Fierravanti-Wells, who's the Liberal Party senator who might be put 3rd or 4th on the Senate candidacy seat, which is not good. It's an unwinnable position. I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that. She's a good senator. She's batted for a ton of policies, and especially on religious freedom, which is something I've talked with Dr. Con Kafataris a lot with on the show, on Thin Ice. And we've also got, in the Labor Party, we've got, what's her name, Joel? What's her name? Another senator. I can't remember her name right now. They're going to put her 3rd or 4th. This is a woman who didn't vote yes on the same-sex marriage thing. When the vote came around in 2017, she actually didn't vote. And in the Labor Party terms, you never vote no, you just don't vote. That's like your no vote. And that is not something I want to see. She's also someone who's been good on religious freedom. I don't like seeing that. I don't like seeing that at all. And the more that I see the mainstream parties getting rid of these really good people for moderating their parties to what the Australians want, the more I get frustrated, and I want to help empower them. And so my focus is more towards New South Wales, and I want to really empower them there. And I wish A1 the best of luck. A lot of people have been reading into this too much, I think. But as I said, this has been a few weeks in the making in terms of what's happening with Ricardo going to Queensland and his electorate being in Queensland. And I wish them all the best of luck. And I can't wait to see their new show and how that progresses. And if you're in other states, guys, honestly, if you have the means, if you have the ability, if you have the skills to start a show like I did on the Arc and I'll continue to run here, please just do it. Go and do it. Just start it up. Start talking. Start having conversations. You will make mistakes. That's okay. I've made mistakes. But you need to keep moving forward. That's how you're going to actually progress the nation and help save the nation. You can't keep saying what if. You've got to leave nothing in the tank. That's what we say in rugby. Leave nothing on the tank. Leave it all on the field. Just go for it. And that's what I want to see more of. So I hope that answers your question in a very long way, Tegan. I gave it a long answer because a lot of people have been very, they've been reading into it too much. And I'm like, guys, I'll explain on the next podcast, but he needs to focus on his party and his Queensland. I mean, A1's not even actually registered yet as a party yet. That still needs to be done. And so they've got a ton of work to do. I'll put it that way. Question from Philip. He says, "Hi Joel, I understand you not being able to answer every question from last week, but I'd still like to hear both yours and Ricardo's view on the maniac Bill Gates, the recent revelation on him becoming the largest landholder in the US, and his insane push for synthetic meat has really got me peed off. Is there any way we can stop this lunatic, and what can we do here in Australia to mitigate his influence here? Regards, Phil." He is a maniac, isn't he? Yeah, he's the biggest landowner. And fun fact, I might have said this on the show already. Fun fact, a lot of the rich people in America, as you saw with the cash rate skyrocketing in 2020, something's coming. And the rich people in America know something's coming. And I'm really worried about that because what they've been doing is they've actually been buying up tons of land, tons of gold, tons of other forms of storing value like Bitcoin, which they believe works, and also jewelry and art, because art supposedly retains value. That's very interesting. It's very, very interesting, and it'll be very interesting to see how, I've said interesting too many times, it'll be very fascinating to see how things progress with that in America, with the debt crisis they're going to have. I mean, 400% increase, 450% increase in their cash rate is very troubling. I don't trust Bill Gates. I don't trust the guy. He's a little bit crazy, and he's called a lot of this stuff almost like he had a plan for it. The synthetic meat thing is weird. I think we'll be fine. I think we can stick to regular meat, Bill Gates. I think we'll be good. But yeah, Phil, my pleasure, mate. My pleasure to answer your question. I enjoy these questions. Question from David. "Hi, Joel. I noticed in a post above that someone said you had parted ways with Ricardo. Is this the case?" Yep, I've just answered that before for Tegan, so check that out. He also went on to say, "What do you see in the future regarding to the USA under Biden militarily?" He says, "I don't see good things. I see a return to a chaotic Middle East with endless wars. I see a lot of saber rattling at North Korea again. I see Biden just caving to the CCP, and I doubt he would lift a finger should China invade Taiwan. I see the USA's C being fatally compromised by an empty state to the point he would let the tanks roll into DC if he was told so. I'd like to hear both of your thoughts on this, as this will affect Australia sooner or later. Cheers, guys." Yeah, look, as I said, I answered the thing before about Ricardo. It'd be great to hear his question on this because he's really good on foreign policy and the military stuff. I agree, man. I agree, David. It's not good. It's not good at all. Biden's militarily, I don't think Biden has the stones to face off with China if they try to invade Taiwan. And I mean that. I mean like a literal invasion, a sea invasion where they deploy troops and they occupy the nation. Taiwan has no love for China right now. And to see what's going on there and what could happen potentially is very scary. I don't. If Drew Pavlova went over there, I just want him to get the hell out of there, because it's not a good place. And Drew Pavlova has been good at raising issues on that. Foreign policy on North Korea is not great. They're going to test Biden to get what they want. They haven't had a single nuclear firing test, missile test since I think Trump last met with Kim Jong-un. But yeah, look. I'm worried about the foreign policy guys, and we talked about it this week. I talked about the bombing that happened in Syria on supposedly Iraqi forces, which ended up being crap. This is not good. This is not good at all, and you don't have to be a rocket surgeon to understand that it's not good. This is going to be a disaster for foreign policy, and it'll be just like Obama 2.0. So that's what we're looking at. The next question is from Bruce.